Good afternoon. Good, good way after evening or afternoon. Good evening. I just had a mind or just like a thought in my head to reach out to my former business partner for my salon and just say, hey, listen, man, I hope everything's good. How are you doing? What's going on? And, you know, he answered today, and he let me know that they closed down our salon. Like, he closed the doors on Monday. And today's Wednesday, and I'm like, whoa. You know, I called him immediately and just wanted to talk with him a little bit more, see what happened, what's going on, get the scoop, so to speak, and then just really talk to him about it. Now, he's not a person that that hasn't failed in the past, but every failure, it hurts, and it hurts different, you know. Even though, like, you know, I've been out of that business since 2020, June of 2020, June, July or so of 2020. I still felt something about it, because to me it was the death of a dream, you know, hearing that he closed the doors. Part of me did really want him to make it, to actually move this a little bit, yeah, to make it, to actually be successful in this. I have to stitch that together. Looks like I had gotten a phone call, so sorry about that. But for us to make it, for him to make it, for him to make it, and really us to make it when we're on the outset of this of the endeavor, or of the business, and it didn't work out. You know, I knew going into it our profit margins would be slim. I knew there would be hardships for at least the first 2 to maybe even 3 years. But, you know, COVID, I mean, along with just the business itself not doing well enough and keeping and retaining people, but then also just COVID in general, it was something. It's still hard, man. It really is still hard to see something that you put together, invested a lot of money in, and it just doesn't work out. And then it still doesn't work out even after, you know, you're trying to save it. Now, I made a video a while back about my failures or successes. This is probably well over a year ago, because I didn't even have much furniture. I don't think I had any furniture in my sunroom at the time. So this had to be maybe 2020, early 2021 that I made this video. And if anything, I'll try and find it if I remember, just to link it into in the chat, in the comment section. But this is a mindset video, and it's to talk mainly about the death of a dream, death of a vision, or failure of your vision. And not just the motivational, hey, listen, pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and go forward, but really deal with the issues that you had with that business and why it did not work, and trying to find ways so that it doesn't happen again. Everything's different in terms of, like, when you do another business, a new business, what have you. But, you know, some things you really do have to let go. And if anything, what we'll probably do even in this video is just, like, my agenda would be to know when to quit, I guess, to sum it all up. I mean, you can end the video right now, 4 minutes in. Know when to quit. Know when to stop. Know when to look at what you're doing and say, hey, listen, this is not going to work. This is not going to work how I want it to. This is not going to give me the results that I want. I know I talk about arguing results over preferences. You know, don't argue preferences of a person. Argue their results. If I look at the results that I was getting out of that shop, I was not getting what I wanted. If you look at the results that you're getting out of a relationship, and it's not what you want, then you need to make a change in that relationship, or even in that business. And then if it still doesn't work, then you need to know when to cut your losses. Because we waste so much time on things, and we never want to let go. We never want to just say, hey, listen, this is a failure. This is not working. We are not compatible. we are not compatible, and we're just having problems, and it's just issues upon issues. So, for instance, if you're with a woman and you're just not sexually compatible, aka you ain't got enough meat for her storage locker, you know what I mean, or her refrigerator, then, you know, listen, you know, you can try as much as you want to make other things better, but if that doesn't work for you and it's important to you or her or one or the other, then it's just not gonna work. You know, like you gotta know when to like say, hey, listen, man, this ain't gonna happen. And if we want this to work, we're gonna have to have some other type of qualities, or we're gonna have some other type of things that we find as being beneficial or worth it, so to speak. And and it was just that's kind of that comment is spurred on a little bit by Alvin, or actually on Classic, a post that he put on his Instagram about, you know, people just being inadequate for one another, you know, in terms of beauty, and even for men, monetary insecurities, you know. So but some people are just not compatible. Some things are not compatible. Some things will not work out no matter how hard you try. Some things you really do have to let go of, and, you know, it's just not going to work for you in the long run. And we're all about long run, or like the long term. We should be looking at things saying, hey, this is what's going to work for me, and this is how I'm going to improve, or this is how I'm going to improve because of this deal, or because of this interaction, because of this relationship, because of this business. And if you start to see where that starts to turn south, meaning that you're not making the money that you were before, it's not coming together the same way, then we really need to be able to let go. And I even said this to one of my other business partners before we it was three of us in the salon business, or the salon venture. And I said to him, I said, you know, we really got to be able to let go. And if we can't let go, then we really need to, you know, like, we need to make a decision. A decision has to be made. And I was very harsh. I remember at one point talking with one of my business partners, and I said, hey, listen, man, you know, you guys don't have the money to, like, you know, you guys don't have the money to hold on, you know. And if you don't have the money to hold on, and I do have the money to hold on, then there's a problem here, because we really need at minimum all three of us. And, you know, if we don't have all three of us, then we have a serious problem. We have a deficit at this point, and we didn't have three of us. It was 2 out of 3, and really it was just 1 out of 3, which was me. And then that's when I said, fuck it, I'm done. I really feel some type of way about this, because it is something that, you know, I remember what it meant to me to make this push, this leap into something else. You know, I could have taken that money and put it in a myriad of places, such as cryptocurrencies, got into stocks earlier, so on and so forth, and I didn't. I wanted to do business. I never really believed as much in investing 401ks and things like that like I do now. I don't think what I did was, I don't regret what I did. I do think what I did was wrong, because it just didn't work out. It didn't give me the results that I want. And if you're not getting the results that you want out of the equation, then to me that's a wrong equation. I'm results oriented, results focused, and I didn't get what I wanted. And now I'm seeing, years later, it's probably about 2 years now, my business partner didn't get what he wanted by trying to save it. You know, I even told him beforehand, you know, I was like, listen, if we close down now, we can get sued for the rest of the rent, and they don't have to rent that place out to nobody in the meantime. It's just one of the laws in Florida. It's like, I forget what they call it, but essentially, if you can't pay the rent, the landlord is not responsible or required to find somebody to pay that rent. You either have to find someone and sign the lease over to them, or you are on the hook for, even if the business is open or closed, but you're on the hook for that rent period. And And, you know, he had mentioned it today. He's like, yeah, man, I couldn't close it down because we would have got sued. And I was like, yeah, I feel you. And one of the things that was happening is that he told me that at the renewal of the contract, they were actually asking for like 11 grand. You know, our rent was like 7,300 or something like that at the time for 3,700 square feet in Miami. And that's a lot. I mean, but again, you know, rent in Miami in those areas is just a lot, period. And at one point, I was paying like half of that myself, by myself, like making up for whatever the business couldn't do. So imagine putting 3 grand. That's like why, like, you know, when I do stuff like even, you know, my recent purchase of the vehicle, or my truck, it's just like, bro, I was paying 3 grand for a place that I wasn't even living in, you know, and I was doing that for months. And trying to work multiple jobs. So that's like one of the things that actually not influences, but like justifies my truck purchase, so to speak. But it's like, that was a really hard time in my life. I still feel some type of way about it, you know, like just trying to come up with the words and everything else like that. And I think it's important that we talk about these things. We talk about our failures, not only within ourselves, you know, the interest in having those talks or those moments of introspection, but also talking about it with other people and letting them know, like, hey, listen, you know, either way, unless you're going to do something that is miraculous, spectacular, spontaneous, amazing, over the top, extraordinary, blah, 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 there's some things you just cannot save. And we don't live in a world of superheroes. That is a truck. Yo, that muffler is deleted. Yo, this guy's muffler, you can't see it, of course, but that guy's muffler is pretty much right underneath his passenger side of his truck. That's crazy. What is he doing? Let's watch this guy. What the hell is he doing? But yeah, it's kind of crazy, man. What is this guy doing? What the fuck? Floor it! Let's go! Let that sucker go! Oh! Oh. I thought you was gonna let that sucker fly, man. Yeah, you can call me anytime. You can call me anytime. Alright. Yeah! Oh, man. Yeah, I got a sound out in front of my house for computer services and stuff like that. But, you know, you have those feelings of, oh yeah, so you go through introspection. You know, you have that inner voice, that inner talk, that inner conversation with yourself, and you start to say, hey, listen, these are the feelings that I'm having right now. These are the thoughts that I'm having right now. These are the, this is the inadequacy that I have to deal with at this point in time. And it's important that we all have these conversations with ourselves when we have that death of a vision, a death of, you know, a point in our life, or an era, if you will. You know, and it hurts, man. It really does. Because we tried really hard. We had problems, and we worked through them, and ultimately we failed. And we can always say, like, you know, we could placate ourselves, you know, self-placation, I guess, I don't know. But we could placate ourselves, and we could say things like, listen, man, you'll get it next time, not everything is successful, don't worry about it. But it fucking sucks, bro. It really sucks. Because now I'm talking to my business partners, and he's like, yo, listen, man, those lights that are overhead, you know, are those ours? And I'm like, yeah. So now he's looking at, you know, taking the lights out of the shop. And I'm like, you know, I didn't get into it, but I'm like, where are you going to put them? Is it worth it? Leave them suckers there, man. Let somebody else sell them. If you can't sell them in a short period of time, don't store them. But we want to get something out of stuff, We don't want to be left with nothing. We don't want to look at it and say, listen, I failed and I have nothing to show for it. Not even like, I failed and I still got a house out of it. Or I got X, Y, and Z out of it. And we do get relations and other things out of it, but tangible things, man. Things that we could say, hey, listen, man, I can cope because I at least have this. I can go on and on. This video is it's dragging on, and I'm just like having a stream of consciousness here, a little ramble, if you will. I'll put this under mindset, but really, in terms of a mindset, to close this up, we do have to have a mindset where we look at these things, we review these things, and we start to review these things, and we start to really unpack them, if you will, lack of a better phrase or term, word. We really unpack them, and we try to find what we're looking for out of them. I don't know what I'm looking for out of this. Maybe just closure, if you will, but I don't know what I can find out of this. Maybe it's just nothing, and it's just what I find out of this is just me making this video to express my feelings and my thoughts on the matter. The TV I put in there was my own personal 70-inch TV. The code that I wrote for the advertising screens in the front, the amount of work I put in every week, sometimes multiple times a week, sometimes multiple times in a week to clean that shop, being tired, getting sick because I didn't get enough rest between my night job, my day job, my business during the day, doing the computer consulting, and running that salon, collecting money from people, dealing with people's bullshit, dealing with a business, period. And I look at my life now. Better than I imagined. If I stop talking for a second, you can hear the chirping, the birds, the silence, my AC kicking on. You can hear these things, man, and I didn't know what it looked like. Will I fail at this one? Whoa, that's another thing. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed your Wednesday. I hope you all you guys are enjoying the Will Smith and Jada week, because they are letting those two have it. Rightfully so, I guess. But I hope you all, if rightful, I don't know about rightfully so, but they are human beings, so I should, yeah. Alright, with that being said, as always, thank you so much for listening. I appreciate and love you all, I really do. I hope you're getting some rest, and I hope you're also getting the results that you want. And if you're not, I guess it's time to rework the equation. Alrighty, peace.